Good morning, everyone. The story told about this Jew who's coming back from a business trip. He had a lot of cash on him, in the old day. And a bandit comes along with a gun and says, your money or your life. So the Jew says to this bandit, okay, I'm going to give you my money, obviously. I don't want to die. But do me one favor. When I come home, my wife is going to be so upset at me that I got robbed of all my money. So I want to at least show her that I put up a fight, that, I tried to save the money. So if you don't mind, just shoot a few bullets through my jacket. So when I come home, I'll say, yeah, I had a real good gunfight with the guy. I was courageous. I stood up to him, but he robbed my money. So the guy said, fine. So the Jew takes off his coat, and the guy shoots a few bullets through his coat, and then all of a sudden he's out of ammunition. The minute he's out of ammunition, the Jew attacks the bandit, wrestles him to the ground, pins him down, and this bandit's laying there on the ground. He looks up at the Jew and he says, I knew I should never trust a dirty Jew. And this is really a story of the Jewish people. The Jewish people for 2,000 years in exile had to figure out how to survive. And when we figured out how to survive, what did the world say to us? You Jews, look what you did. You outsmarted us. You outwitted us. You found ways to endure despite all the attempted assassinations on your life. It's fascinating that Jacob, who establishes the 12 tribes of Israel, has two names. He has the name Jacob, which is Yaakov, and the name Yisrael. What's the difference between these two names? So the two bookends of this week's Torah portion is Jacob running, but in two opposite directions. In the beginning of the parsha, he's running from his brother Esau, who wants to kill him. At the end of the parsha, he's running back from the house of Laban, who also is pursuing him and wants to kill him. And God has to come to Laban in a dream and say, don't lay a hand on Jacob. Jacob is the man who's in exile. He's always fighting. He's always wrestling. He's always trying to survive. And the way he survives is by fleeing. And the way he survives is by using his wits to outsmart his opponent. With his brother Esau, he had to find ways to outsmart him. With Laban in this week's parsha, he has to become prosperous by the speckled and the spotted, the sticks in the water to get the animals to produce and to be able to become wealthy and successful. A very fascinating story in this week's Torah portion. He had to rely on his wits and his smarts to stay alive and to survive. But he's always a runner. He's a fugitive. He's running with fear from his enemies. What happens in next week's Torah portion? He finally says, enough running. I'm not going to be this Jew who's always on the run from my enemies. I'm going to stand up, confront my enemies, and I'm going to overpower them and teach them a lesson. Don't fight with me because I'm stronger than you are. And in next week's Torah portion, sure enough, he confronts the angel, wrestles with the angel, overpowers the angel, pins him to the ground, and then he says, give me a blessing. He says, okay, your name is no longer Jacob. You're not the brother who's like holding on to his older brother's heel. You have wrestled with man and with God, and you have prevailed, and now your name is Yisrael. And how fitting is it, therefore, that the land of Israel is called Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. Because after 2 years of exile, of Jews being expelled from one country to the next, always running to stay alive and using their wits to be able to survive in all these different foreign countries that persecuted Jews, we finally come to the land of Israel in our generation. We return to Eretz Yisrael. And what do we say to our enemies? We're not going to run anymore. This is our land. We're going to stand up. We're going to defend it, and we'll fight back. And war after war after war, we fought back, prevailed over our enemies, and showed our enemies we're not the weak Jews going to run. We're strong and powerful, and we're going to stand up for our rights and for our Jewish identity. And that's the miracle of our generation, that Baruch Hashem, we're able to not only be Yaakov, but we're able to be Yisrael.